Well, the good news is still yet to come here. This may not be the best news here. What I'm going to do is take you through a roadmap of what drives the Chicagoland market. Some of it may overlap a little bit with what Jeff talked about, but this is specific to Chicago. We're going to talk about historic trends, what happened yesterday and what's going to happen tomorrow, what tomorrow will bring, and then questions we'll answer as a panel afterwards. One thing that affects you guys more than anything out there is consumer confidence. What we're looking at here is, just like Jeff was saying, Chicago market's lagging behind the rest of the United States economy. Consumer confidence for the Chicagoland area, or the east, north, central area, which is our district, is always lagged behind the U.S. economy. You can see that in the fourth quarter of 2008, that's really when the financial market started to tank. Lehman Brothers failed. You know, everything hit the fan. After that, we started realizing we're not going to go into a depression. Things started picking up a bit right about here. Hopefully that continues into the first quarter of 2010. Next thing, job growth. This is strictly for the Chicagoland area here. So you can see that so far in 2009, we've lost almost 250,000 jobs. The scary part of this is if you look at how many jobs we've created, the peak point is in 1995 with 100,000 jobs. In order for us to recreate the jobs that we've lost just in 2009, it's going to push us out to 2011, possibly 2012. And that's not with just organic job growth for those 3 years. So the picture is somewhat bleak. Chicagoland unemployment, third quarter, we did see a dip in that. That may have been somewhat seasonal. You know, the people that are getting hired for part-time work for the Christmas holidays. With people that I work with, they're actually predicting that this could jump up to 12% in Illinois before it actually starts dropping down again. Population growth. This is another thing that obviously drives the buyers in the Chicagoland market. Until about the end of 2008, we're actually seeing positive population growth of between 60 and 70,000 people. Over the last quarters, that's actually leveled off to about 70,000 people a year, 75,000 people a year or so. Again, that's a huge driver for the housing market. In migration flows, this is also interesting to know. Where are those 70,000 people coming from? What states? What territories? The Chicago MSA doesn't actually include Lake County or Gary, Indiana, so those are considered separate portions. But for marketing reasons, especially for you guys out in the room, this would be ideal situations that people from Lake County, Gary, Indiana, New York, Rockford, Los Angeles, these are the people that are immigrating to the Chicagoland area at this time. Chicago housing permits. Permits peaked in 2005 with a little over 45,000 permits pulled per year. Dropped ever since then until we got to 2009. If I sat here in front of you in 2005 and told you that Will County's permits pulled for 2005 is going to be greater than all the permits pulled in the Chicagoland market for 2009, you would have said no chance. Nobody saw a storm like this coming. But the fact is, we're projecting by the end of 2009, and we just missed the cutoff for this data, for this slide, but we're projecting a little over 6,000 permits pulled for the year of 2009. One bright spot in this, though, is the builders are wising up. Builders aren't introducing new inventory onto the market. It's not putting pricing pressure downward on projects. So this is a bright spot. New home sales data. So what this is tracking, this is a little different than existing home sales. These would actually be new construction projects, condo conversions in the city and suburbs, but this would be strictly new construction sales. So you can see that this peaked at about mid-2005 at about 1,000 units a month. When the market was humming, we were getting 1,000 units a month sold. Nowadays, in the third quarter of 2009, when I did the math on this, it's about 130 units sold a month. So we've dropped down almost 900% on this. Huge numbers. In terms of existing home sales, again, this fluctuates. This looks like a pretty seasonal graph if I'm looking at this. Everything peaks the first 3 quarters, drops the fourth quarter, excuse me. One thing is the market did start to correct itself once it hit the bottom here in the first quarter. I think a lot of first-time home buyers out there, I think the numbers came out today that 2 million first-time home buyers bought in with the $8,000 tax credit last year. That's a fairly large number. Obviously, that did not account for all of those sales. I think it was also the buyers started to realize, hey, this is a time to buy, and it truly was, and it truly is now. Detached median home prices, again, this is going to be the new construction market. I know that this slide's a little jumbled, but the one thing I want you guys to take away from this is that the new construction market, being the D.R. Hortons of the world, the Rylands, the Toll Brothers, they're being much more stubborn in lowering their prices. If we looked at this for existing home sales, prices have fallen off the map. If you look at this for the new construction market, they're much more stubborn. They're not out there lowering their prices. They're offering larger incentives, more upgrades, free TVs, like Jeff was saying in some cases, things along those lines. But they're not lowering the prices. Attached new home median price. Again, this fluctuates as well. But what I want you to take away from this is that the new home market, they're not reducing the prices as much.